Alright, the XRP community is absolutely buzzing, but not all of it is to the moon hype. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse here just took the stage at Consensus 2026 and said something that has a lot of people scratching their heads. He explicitly stated, "I've never been an XRP Maxi," and followed it up by saying, "I want Bitcoin to succeed." Now, on the surface, some people are taking this as a sign that Ripple is losing focus. Is the captain of our ship looking at other boats? While Bitcoin is reclaiming the $81,000 price level and the market is heating up, we need to look deeper at what this means for the price of XRP and the future of the Ripple ecosystem. So in this video, I'm going to give you my personal opinion on Brad's multi-chain thesis and why this might actually be a massive strategic win for us, even if it feels a little bit like a betrayal to the hardcore maxis. So let's dive into the details. Our first question is, why is the Ripple CEO publicly backing Bitcoin? It is rare to see a CEO of a major crypto project promote their competitor, but Brad didn't hold back. He confirmed that he personally holds Bitcoin and Ethereum alongside XRP. This comes at a time when Bitcoin is seeing a massive 199% surge in spot demand, driving it past that $78,000 and $81,000 resistance. In my own personal opinion, I think Brad is being a realist right here. He is moving away from the tribalism that used to define the 2017 and 2021 bull runs. So, as a trader, I see this as a sign of maturity. By saying he wants Bitcoin to succeed, he is acknowledging that Bitcoin is the center of gravity for the entire market. If Bitcoin thrives, the institutional on-ramp stays open for everyone else. I don't see this as Brad abandoning XRP. I see it as Brad protecting the industry so that XRP can actually have a place to grow. Now, the next question is, could a multi-asset reserve model be better for XRP than a Bitcoin only one? One of the most interesting parts of this news is Brad's lobbying effort. When the Trump administration initially floated the idea of a Bitcoin only US crypto reserve, Brad was right there in DC, pushing for a multi asset model. And guess what? It worked. The US Treasury has formally endorsed a multi asset approach. Over 200 entities globally are following suit. In my own personal opinion, this is a huge chess move. If the US government only held Bitcoin, XRP would always be an outsider. But by lobbying for a multi asset reserve, Brad has effectively carved out a seat at the table for XRP. So, my take, he is playing the long game. He knows that if the government holds a basket of assets, XRP's utility as a bridge currency becomes a must have for the Treasury to manage those assets. He is not a maxi because being a maxi would have limited Ripple's political reach. Now, The next question is ecosystem unity more important than Maxi loyalty this year of 2026? Brad's main argument is that crypto industry will not consolidate around just one chain. Instead, we are seeing a multi-chain ecosystem where different networks serve different purposes. Ripple even backed this up with action. A $500 million investment in AI driven custody solutions that integrate both XRP and Bitcoin for institutional clients. In my own opinion, we have to stop looking at this like a sports game where only one team can win. In the institutional world, capital doesn't pick sides based on a logo. It allocates based on risk adjusted returns. If Ripple is building custody for both BTC and XRP, they are making themselves indispensable to the big banks. So to me, Maxi loyalty is a retail era relic. If you want to see XRP hit those double digits, you want it to be part of the global financial plumbing, not a lonely island. Now, how does Bitcoin's current surge impact XRP's first quarter growth? While Brad was talking about Unity, Ripple's numbers were doing the talking for XRP's utility. In first quarter of 2026, Ripple saw $1.2 billion in on-demand liquidity or ODL volume using XRP. That is a 45% increase year over year, driven by huge moves in Brazil and Japan. So, in my own personal opinion, this is the rising tide theory. As Bitcoin lifts the entire market cap, XRP, XRP's real world utility starts to shine because the cost of liquidity becomes more efficient. I've noticed that every time Bitcoin has a major spot demand spike, like the one Glassnode just reported, the altcoin rotation follows about 2 to 4 weeks later. So Brad's comments might suppress the hype for a few days, but they don't change the fact that more people are using XRP for actual payments than ever before. So, should holders worry about the center of gravity shifting? Missouri analysts are calling this a lifting all boats moment. They argue that XRP's utility is most valuable in rising tide, not in isolation. Brad's refusal to be a maxi is his way of saying that Ripple is ready to lead the entire industry, not just one chain. So, in my own personal opinion, I think some maxis will be upset and might sell their bags because they want a CEO who only pumps one coin. But for the serious investors, the diamond hands, this is actually a de-risking signal. It tells me that Ripple is a stable, professional company that understands how global markets work. Brad wants a seat at the table with the Federal Reserve and the US Treasury. You don't get the seat by being a crypto rebel who hates Bitcoin. You get it by being a partner in the new financial system. So, what is the ultimate takeaway from the consensus 2026? So, did Brad Garlinghouse suppress the price? Maybe in the short term, the Moon Boys are disappointed. But the structural news, the multi-asset reserve, the $1.2 billion in ODL volume, and the $500 million AI custody investment is incredibly bullish. So my final take on this one is simple. Brad is building a financial superpower. By embracing Bitcoin, he is removing the US versus he is removing the us versus them narrative that regulators use to attack Ripple. He is making XRP part of the institutional trinity along with Bitcoin and Ethereum. So don't let the "I'm not a Maxi" headline scare you. Look at what they are building. They are building the infrastructure for the next 100 years of money. So we need to keep our eyes on the Bitcoin rotation. If history repeats itself, the institutional capital flowing into Bitcoin right now is going to look for a utility exit very soon. And XRP is standing right there, ready and waiting. And this finally ends our video. Thank you very much for watching and see ya on the next one.